I've never really gone viral on anything that I've created on social media, nor do I really want to because the idea of going viral actually terrifies me. However, I went sort of semi-viral on a response to a thread this past weekend, and it actually taught me a lot about self-perception, and I want to chat about it with you. So let's dive in. Hello friend and fellow adventurer, my name is Kayla. I'm a multi-passionate creative doing all the things and documenting my messy middle so I don't feel... Hello friend and fellow adventurer, my name is Kayla. I'm a messy... Hello friends and fellow adventurers, my name is Kayla and I am a multi-passionate creative who is documenting her... What is going on? Hello, friend and fellow adventurer. My name is Kayla. I'm a multi-passionate creative doing all the things and documenting my messy middle so you don't feel so alone in yours. Welcome back to Sidequests and Sideeyes. Part cozy tavern, part strategy guide, all unhinged chaos. Around these parts, we hardcore side-eye, hustle culture, go the pace of grace, which is really slow, and celebrate every small win. Showering counts. Okay, like I said, I have never created anything to go viral. I think when I was younger, I wanted to go viral because I thought the idea of going viral would mean more followers and therefore more people would look at my stuff and therefore I would be able to build the community that I would like very quickly. And I've discovered over time, now that I'm 36 years old, going to be 37 this year, I actually don't want to go viral because virality doesn't mean that you're actually building a community of people who support and like your particular brand of art or work or content, entertainment, whatever it is that you do. However, this past weekend, I was on Threads. I love Threads. If you aren't on Threads, it's a unique place. I love it. My algorithm is great. I know some people are not fans of Threads. I am, but I've also curated my my algorithm to be like just prime. It's perfect. I love it. Somebody posted this thread basically saying they were able to tell if somebody is going to stay married based on their engagement photos. I used to be a wedding photographer back in the day for a handful of years, and I immediately thought the same thing. Like, yeah, you can kind of tell based on engagement photos if people are going to end up together or not, or if you see other people's engagement photos. And so beneath that, there were people who were posting their engagement photos kind of like, hey, this is how it started. Like, hey, did we make it? Did we not? And so there were some that were, obviously like they got divorced, and she guessed that they got divorced. And then other ones where it's like, oh no, they were still together. So I jumped in and I thought, let me tell you, like very few people see my threads. So I thought, what's the harm? I haven't looked at our engagement photos in ages. This will be fun. So I decided to jump on the trend and I threw our engagement photos up, put it down, put it away, and then I went to a friend's birthday party. And when I came back, like my reply had, I don't know where it's at now. Let me look. I'll look right now of how many replies there are now, or how many likes. Okay. There are, hold on, over 4,500 likes. Let me tell you, I've never gotten... I barely, you know what, I'm not even going to go into it. Over 4,500 likes. And I want to say there were, 60 comments. 60 comments on our engagement photos. And I will put some of our engagement photos up here so that you can look at them. I loved our engagement photos. At the time, we didn't have any money. We didn't have any money then. We still don't have any money now. Okay, fine, whatever. At the time, we didn't have money for engagement photos, and we did have a friend who was just getting into photography offer to take some photos for us so that we would have something to commemorate our engagement, which was so sweet of him. Thing is, now he's like one of the best premier photographers in Michigan. So these photos were amazing to begin with, and he was brand new. So only imagine where his artwork is now. I'll link his stuff below as well. So anyways, I posted these and I had so many comments of people telling me how beautiful I was. I'll put some of the comments up, but I'm just going to read them here. But lots talking about like, oh my gosh, are you guys models? I feel like you should definitely be a model. You are gorgeous. You are a goddess. You are radiant. You are so absolutely phenomenally beautiful. All these comments, and I was kind of blown away. Yes, part of it is I am 5 months postpartum, and so the relationship with your body definitely changes after you've had a kid. Things are in different places. I had a home birth transfer to emergency C-section, so there's a lot of trauma that came with that. I was planning on being back in the gym at week 6. I had to wait until week 12. I was doing really well. Around month 3, I started really bloating because I was breastfeeding, and so there's a lot that's going on physically with my body that I'm not necessarily a fan of. I'll be honest about it. I don't hate myself. I don't hate my body, but I've struggled with my weight for many years. It's gone up and down. I'm very healthy. I'm in the gym a lot. I lift weights. I eat as clean as I can. And I also do have some fun because I'm still going to eat ice cream sometimes, right? But I've had a lot of issues where my weight has just kind of yo-yoed a lot. I've been healthy. I've been strong. I can do a lot in the gym with weightlifting, great PRs there, but the weight has just always been up and down. And especially seeing these photos again was kind of difficult because that was the lowest weight I had ever been. And I was very happy at that weight. I was very comfortable. But I had also, I think I was, let me see, this was like 2 months before our wedding. And so I had gained a little bit of weight because I was changing some medication. And so I remember looking at these photos and focusing on my acne scarring because he didn't do heavy editing, which I'm glad he didn't do heavy editing. But I also wasn't somebody who wore a lot of makeup. I still don't wear a lot of makeup. You'll see in a lot of my videos, I don't wear makeup. And so I'm very, very self-conscious about my acne scarring, my hyperpigmentation. I still have acne as an adult, yay, and it got worse in postpartum, yay. So looking back at these photos is so interesting because I remember even then thinking, I loved them, they were beautiful, but I remember only focusing on the negative and how ugly the different parts of me were like, I hate that, I hate that, I hate that. And let me tell you, once you have a kid, you can experience this without having a kid. I'm not saying you have to have a kid to understand this, but I will say there's something that really snaps into place when you have a daughter and you realize, oh my gosh, I think she's perfect and beautiful and amazing, and she's only 5 months old, and immediately start thinking about, oh my gosh, I don't want her to experience any of that guilt or shame or just negative view of herself or her body. I don't want her to ever experience that. I want her to know that she's loved and she's valued regardless of what she looks like on the outside, and that our physical attributes are probably the least important things about us. The most important things are what's on the inside, our relationships, our personality, what makes us us, all of the ways in which we were created to do the things that we do. And I don't know, it was something about hearing all of those comments. And obviously, I'm 12 to 13 years younger in these photos. So naturally, I think I look better in these photos than I do now because I'm on a journey with where my body is at currently. We are in the gym and having a fun time and readjusting to all my innards being in different places. Not that you wanted to know that, but yeah. But the thing is, I also posted an updated photo of us. I still got amazingly sweet and kind comments on that as well about how beautiful I looked. And it's so interesting because I know we do this, right? We look at other people and we think, oh my gosh, they're beautiful. And then we look in the mirror and think, oh my gosh, I'm hideous. I don't actually think that. I don't actually think that. I've done a lot of work to get to the place where I'm like, you know what? I don't hate myself. I don't hate my body. Yes, I have struggled with my weight, but here's the thing, like, my husband loves me. I'm strong, I'm capable, I'm very healthy. All of my labs, all of my levels always come back stellar over the top. So, okay, I'm heavier than I used to be, and I'm heavier than sometimes I won't admit that I would like to be. But you know what? That's not the most important thing to me. I've done a lot of work to get to that place. However, there are still moments where I look at myself in a picture and I sit and look at all of the things that's wrong. And it just got me thinking about the difference between how other people see us and how we view ourselves. Now, let me give you the caveat of saying how other people who see us positively, not negatively. We can leave that for another video and for our therapists. But what I mean is how other people perceive us. Strangers on the internet sometimes perceive us in this very beautiful, kind way that we ourselves struggle to see. And I think that that's really sad. And I think that's part of the work of just maturing throughout life, is being able to cast off those beauty standards because they're silly. They're subjective and they change based on time, geographic location. Beauty standards are just, they're a silly thing. They really are a silly thing. And so maturing means casting those off and learning that your identity is not found in how you look. That's not where our identity is found. That's not the important thing about us. And I think there's something really wonderful about getting that external validation from strangers on the internet. I don't think that's something, I don't think you should in turn make that your identity. That's why I think a lot of people end up putting so much of themselves online, is because they're looking for some external validation. Yet again, another topic for another day. However, I will say there is something very beautiful about humanity that shows up when you post something online, unexpectedly just posting something, maybe a photo of you and a friend, or you taking a selfie on a mountain trip, and all of a sudden these strangers or other people have really kind words to say, and they see you through this lens of beauty and bravery and courage and kindness. There's something about that that is very healing. That's my story about how I went a tiny bit viral and learned a lot about self-perception, and was reminded how much more work I still have to do internally to break some of those cycles of thinking the beauty standard is the most important thing, of looking at myself and seeing only the negative instead of seeing something different and appreciating, like, oh my gosh, I actually do look really good in that photo, and being okay with saying, yeah, I feel confident in that photo, and also totally being fine with what's called body neutrality, of just like, I'm not necessarily feeling great about my body, but I'm not hating it. It's just a body. It's just myself existing, and it's doing what it needs to do to keep me alive. And that is enough. That is more than enough. That's my story for you today. Hopefully that is encouraging, and maybe hopefully that's encouraging for you. And now we are to the part of the show where I, Celeste the side quester, like to bequeath to you a small itty bitty little side quest, little challenge, you know, that will allow you to take what we've talked about here and maybe apply it to your own context. So today, let's, I always come up with these off the top of my noggin in real time because it's more fun that way. So today, let's call this the self-perception side quest. I know, these are so creative, I know. Self-perception side quest. I want you to pick out one of the favorite photos of yourself. I know you have one. And if you say that you don't, then I want you to find a photo that maybe other people have said, oh my gosh, I love this photo of you. For example, there's this photo of my brother and I that my mom has on the background of her laptop, both of us hate it. We hate that photo. We're like, Mom, this is the worst photo of the two of us. She loves it. She loves that photo. And so sometimes I like to look at that photo and remind myself of what my mom sees in that photo that I'm clearly missing. So I want you to do the same. I want you to find one of your favorite pictures of yourself. If you don't have one, I want you to ask a friend or family member what their favorite picture is of you. And I want you to see it through new eyes. I want you to lay down the negativity for just a moment. I would like you to lay it down forever. But if a moment is all you can give, lay it down for just a moment. And I want you to try to see yourself with some new eyes. Let's say some nice things to you. If you like the idea of this side quest and you like to dive a little deeper, you can head on down and grab the Do Less side quest, which is a 7-day self-paced challenge that's going to walk you through whatever messy middle you are going through in your life. Instead of trying to do more, how can we do less with what you already have in your hands? We're going to unequip some things that no longer serve us, equip some things that we need moving forward, because the magic happens in the messy middle, so don't give up, don't quit. If you'd like to track these side quests and more side quests to come with some special XP that I will one day magically turn into something for some prize, you can head on over to my Patreon. I will have various logbooks that you can grab just to, spice up your life. Give a little whimsy into your life. Here we are at the end, and my favorite part where I like to say, if you have not heard this ever, or maybe just not recently, I want you to know that I am proud of you, and I think your life is worth getting back up for. Bye friends, see you next time.